Hey there, Cozy Grovers. Welcome back to Town to City here at the Cozy Grove. Episode 3 today. So grab yourselves a drink, get comfy, and let's keep things nice and chill as we always do. Our little town's coming along nicely, but I think it's time to give it a real countryside charm. So today I thought we might take a look for the first time at the farm side of the game. Now, there's no rush, no stress. We're just going to hang out, continue growing our town bit by bit, and add a lovely farm. I know I said I wasn't going to add a farm, but I want to add a really nice farm, so we're doing it. Because that's the beauty of everything. You can change your mind at a moment's notice. But it should be a really good episode today. I hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe to keep up to date with when more episodes come out, and check out the playlist. Let's get to it. So here we are. Back at the village. It is really coming along now. Last time, if you remember, we had to add a second food stall because we'd outgrown our food needs. A couple of extra houses to add workers to the new food stall. And we hit our first milestone, which was to grow our town to a hamlet. What we're going to do today, however, and I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe a whole episode, maybe half an episode, maybe multiple episodes, who knows. We're going to look at building a farm today. Now, that does mean we need to choose a nice location. And what we have on this map, if we zoom all the way out, is we have a huge lake in the center. So I'm thinking it'd be nice to have the farm maybe lakeside. Maybe we'll have a path going up around here and along this side of the lake, and perhaps put the farm in this area here. I think that would be nice, actually. We could have a few... we could fence off the forest, so some of the forest could be used for forestry business within the farm, and then we'll have a nice selection of things growing out in the front in some fields. I think that's a good idea. So let's start with mapping out our roads, as always. I think we're going to have this path come along here, maybe a bit smaller, and sort of as a, you know, like a little coastal path, nature trail. I don't know where you're watching from in the world, but in the UK here, we call them coastal paths. I'm guessing they're probably called something similar wherever you may be watching from. In fact, let me know what they're called in the comments. I'd love to know. I'd love to know if they're universally known as coastal paths, or if they are known by something else in your country. So I think that's nice. That's a nice little path that people can take along the coast. Luckily, our villagers, there's no need to worry about them falling in the ocean, because they won't. Although, maybe... Oh, it would be nice if there was some kind of fence. Let's just quickly see how it looks. If we were to do a, you know, just a little protecting fence. I kind of like it. Maybe we don't need it the whole way. You wouldn't find a fence the whole way along the coast. But in more built-up urban areas, you definitely would have some kind of protection there. So I think that kind of looks nice as is. And then maybe when we get towards the farm itself, we'll perhaps fence it. Let's do it now. Let's do it now. I'm feeling a bit indecisive today. We're just going to go for it. I'm trying to keep the fence panels roughly the same size as each other. We don't want perfection, but we want kind of uniform. A little bit of uniformity. What's that? Oh, I like that. I really like that. Because we're going to have the farm going up here. Let's place the farmhouse first. Here we go. Here's the farmer residence. Provides living space for farmers. And we're going to nestle this up in the woods up here, I think. We'll just let that grow. And then we'll see about building a little path for it. we go. Now let's change the path style. I think we should have a dirt path from the farm. And we're going to have it kind of wavy. It's going to meet up with the path here. One thing I would like, this is such a small thing, but I think it would really add to it, is if the paths connected a bit better. Maybe it's just I'm not being careful enough with them. If we do that, that kind of looks better. And just finish that dirt block there. Don't like it. Don't like this bit sticking out. There we go. Much better. Oh, I really like that. Now we can map out where the fields are going to be with fence. So we'll start adding this fence here. We can have a really big field out front. It's going to sort of go across most of this this front area, and I wonder if we should go right around the forest first. I think so. I think we're gonna allow for a really unique. Oh, I've just learned something. If you stretch out the fence, it adds the separations itself. We can sort of do two at a oops. We can sort of do two at a time. That's cool. And there. We've mapped out one side of this farmer's land. What I need to do also is add a fence for... In fact, we're not going to add a fence. These houses would, I guess, in the real world, they would want to be kind of shielded from the farm, especially with some of the noisier machinery that you would hear. So we're going to go straight out here with a wall. And some of the gardens are going to have a little bit of woods, a little bit of forest in there. It's fine, and that kind of blocks off the farm, which is great. Then we need to add some dividers just to block out some of the land for these guys. There we go. We'll come back to those. For now, let's focus on the farm. What I'm going to do is we're going to leave an archway into this field. There. Another fence this side. The really fun bit is going to come in a second when we look at how the farm operates, because I've only done it once in the campaign. In fact, yes, okay, I remember. So what we want to do is, first of all, add a farmer. Let's grab this regular family here, put them into the house. Good. 64% happiness of our farmers currently. They obviously need a lot of needs. We don't have any food nearby. We don't have any apparel shops at the moment at all, actually, which is something else that we're going to look at maybe in this episode if we have time. If not, that will come in episode 4. But for now, we're going to get this farm up and running as best we can. So what we need to do is click farm down here, and then we need to choose what kind of crop shape we want. And change the brush size. And I think it's quite simply as easy as... Nothing's happening. Okay. Not a problem. We can fix that. Just checking that we have everything we need. Interesting. I wonder why we can't... We don't have to unlock farms, surely. Decorations. Oh, that's all the new stuff. Ah, here we go. That's why we haven't unlocked anything. So, the first thing you need to do, if you guys are playing along, is you need to unlock the farm stuff from the research menu. Now I remember. And the way we accumulate more farm research points is by having a farm operating. So, we need to start off with grapes. So now, we can select grapes here, and now we can see that it's going to be a nice vineyard, which is great. So, with that in mind, let's plan out our grape roads. I don't think sand. I guess we stick with dirt. Do a size 2 brush. We're going to have... I think we'll just have a path going right through the center and around the edge of the forest that links up to the farm here. And then a second path going along the edge of the forest here. That ends with the boundary of the fence. And then we can start filling in these 2 spaces with our grape vineyard, which should look really nice. And I'm hoping, yep, that's good. The fence and the road stops it from spilling over. The only place we have to be mindful is by this fence where there's no road on the other side, which is fine. Make a slightly bigger brush. And then just paint it in. We'll go close to the fence, but not right up to the fence. It may be enough that we just stick with this one side for now. I'm going to go a bit smaller on the brush here to do the detail. I think that we just went outside. I am going to remove that. And now we have 1/2 of a vineyard. I'm going to leave it like that for now. And we're going to... Tell you what would look really nice, actually, is if we paint this with the dirt paint tool. Because it looks like it's been tilled, ready for planting. What I'm going to do is just fix that there, that side. And we've got dry grass, grey grass. Soft dirt on this side, which just fill that back in. And I have actually, just to be a perfectionist, I have missed a little bit there. And brush is way too big. Up there. And here. There. Now that's ready for us to put some crops down on it if we feel like the need is greater than what we have currently. Ah, okay, so we have a maximum capacity down here. Current farm surface containing crops and maximum capacity. So we can add a little bit more, but we're certainly not going to be able to fill that area, I don't think. We may as well go ahead and do that now. And just see how much space we end up using. Oh yeah, it's going to fill up very quick. There we go, that's the maximum amount. Not to worry. The beauty of this whole game is that we can come back here. We can delete individual pieces of this fence. And then we can quite simply change the boundary where we want our crops to be. Look at that. And then we can paint this back green again. No one will ever know the slight errors that we were having. Perfect. I'm going to add the finishing fences to the farm so we can just set the boundaries. I'm not going to allow them to have more space this side. I think we'll save that for green space for... Actually, what I'm thinking of here is making this really dense forest all the way through here and adding a little nature path. I think that would be nice. I will just finish the boundary of this farm, arbitrarily adding in the fence here and there. Perfect. And what we can do as well is just to neaten up this path here. A small fence in like so. Nice. Now, what else do we need to do for the farm? The farm, the building is not connected to a granary, so we do need to build the granary. That's the winery. Just have to find out where the granary lives. Here. So the granary is in the special tab. This is our warehouse where we can store all of the crops. I have just fenced that off, but I am actually going to have I'm going to put the granary square on with this fence over here. So just going to move it briefly outwards, and we'll fix it in a second. This is the height of realism. Well, the granary is actually quite big. That's okay though. We'll extend the fence, slot the granary in, and put the fence back. Let's have it just there. We can come back in, and I'm going to just leave a small gap so we can start putting in trees and things to hide the granary, because the villagers don't want to have to stare at the back of a giant granary. It's going to be part of the forest that comes through here anyway. Very good. While we're waiting for that to grow, let's put in some couple of large trees just to block off this. We are going to intersperse it with some mediums. That's a little bit more covered up, so that's good. And then we want quite dense trees coming through here. We'll build a tiny nature path just going through there. You can see right through the eye of the needle. Have it just going through like this. And then get right in amongst the weeds through here. Maybe a small view of the farm as people are walking along. And it comes right out through there. Perfect. Farm's looking really nice too, so that's good. We do need to connect the granary to the path. Excellent. Granary can't transport to this building because we don't have any builders yet, which is fine. We have 9 spare builders up here. 1, 2. 2 labourers are now working the granary, which means the farm is now producing stuff. I think. We will keep an eye on it and see how we go. In the meantime, let's take a look at what other decorations we can unlock. So here we are back on the city tab. We are going to, for now, ignore the clothing shops. We have a clothing store. We can also get a shoemaker. We can change the clothing colours and an optician. Now these all count as apparel boosts. So at the moment you can see we have 0. So we have a lot of work to do with those to get them around the town. We can also unlock second floor housing. So we add a second floor to any houses we want at a cost. You can also unlock the butcher, which is food production, obviously. And it does provide, you can see there 2 and then a little diamond symbol. And that's going to be for something in a future video where we have different types of population. The things I'm most interested in at the moment is the park decorations down here, which unlocks our picnic tables and stuff, which is really nice. And I think we can make a nice little nature corner with some of those. And then eventually when we get back up to 400 unlock points, we can have the Fountain of Seasons, which gives a happiness boost to most of the town. Okay, we're going to unlock park decorations for now, and then let our research tick back up to 400. If we go in here, you'll see we've gained picnic tables, one with a cloth on, picnic basket, and a hopscotch. So we can look at making a kids park somewhere at some point. Maybe we can't remove rocks at the moment. We can in the future, but not right now. Now I'm seeing nothing happen at the moment with crops. I wonder if we just have to wait for them to start harvesting. There is somebody coming along here. This is a farmer. We're going to have to do some work on the house. We need to get food and just general happiness up. Let's start with decorations. What can we add to this farm? Well, we can start by adding a couple of our new decorations, these picnic benches here. We just spread them out sporadically. And you can add picnic baskets on them like so. Or you actually can come back to the potted plants over here, all the single flowers, and they become potted flowers when you put them on the table, which is cute. I'm going to put street lights. I'm actually not going to put in street lights, because you wouldn't have street lights going on along a farm, but they would absolutely have lights on the farm itself and the granary. I'm going to add a couple of those just for a bit of light. And then, of course, the usual flower decorations for the house itself. Very nice. Now, what we can do with the flower patch, I think, is it makes a nice little flower wreath. Look here. If you add it to the front and back of the house, it turns into a wreath, which is just really cool. A really cool addition to the game. Add a sunflower table out the back here. Much better. And you know what? Regular flower table outside this window. Very nice. And then I think, can we add some... I'm going to add just random flowers out the front of the granary here. Just to make it look a bit more lived in. Very nice. Now they're much happier with the home decoration. We do need to get them some food, though. This one's going to be difficult. Because the distance that these travel is not quite far enough to reach the farm. Unfortunately. So, how do we What can we do about that? Aha! Something we haven't done is add the winery. That's why we're not producing anything. This episode is an episode of learning, I will say that. What I should have done is researched how farms work exactly, so we didn't have this many issues. But it's okay. And we can see that the winery is going to be quite far-reaching. You can see on the road, the green parts of the path is where it will reach when it's placed. So in theory, we can put it anywhere, but I think it best lives next to the other farm bit, the other food stalls here. We're going to place down our winery. Just let it grow quickly. What I am going to do as well is this is going to be a small area for people to come in and have their lunch. Because we have the warehouse, we have the food stalls. People are going to want to come and sit at these tables. A couple of street lights so people can see what's going on. And even a couple of small trees. Lovely. Our winery is built. We need to put a couple more labourers inside. And now the knock-on effect is the warehouse now needs an extra labourer to be able to do what they do. And you see everybody just got really happy that a winery was built. And it's covering the whole town, as you can see, which is fantastic. Farmers are a lot happier. They have 6% food now. That will increase when we add things like the butchers. That might be the last thing we do today, actually. If we have enough points to unlock it, we do. Let's get that unlocked straight away. We're going to put the butchers right next to these houses. They're going to be really, really happy with that. Here's our butcher. Ooh. I'm going to put it back a bit. No, we're not, because we've got the... I'm going to put it around here, because we're going to have the path going around the back of it. But that's okay. And then once this is built in... Ta-da! Just so I can see where the path wants to go, and it wants to go right there. Again, add a couple of labourers that we have spare. And now everyone is... I say everyone. Some people are enjoying the butchers. It's not making our farmers any happier, though. And what I may do is... we can add a little entrance in this fence. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the fence needs to be deleted for this. But I'm hoping what it will do is increase the reach of the butchers enough so that the farmer can also enjoy. So you see we have our little nature path here. We're gonna just have an offshoot path here, coming through the trees and connecting up here. And what I'm hoping that does, once we finish connecting the path, of course, all dirt path along the side. I was hoping that was going to lead it to the house, but maybe the path's not big enough for it to allow that. But that's okay. There's some other things we can do to remedy that small issue. They are happy enough as it is with 83%. That's really good. And we're gaining farm points down the bottom here, which means that our winery is doing what it should be doing. So that is amazing. Our first farm. Finished. And not a moment too soon, too. We've reached the end of episode 3. Really nice addition to our town here. I'm just going to give you a large aerial view of what we've done so far and what we have to work with. So I'd say we've probably used maybe an eighth so far. There's plenty more to do on this town. Next episode, we're going to take a look at apparel and how we can upgrade our apparel boostage by putting down a few of the houses that the shops, that we've yet to unlock. The first one being a clothing store, which will then lead on to a shoemaker, and we'll eventually have an optician's as well. That's what you can look forward to in episode 4. For now, though, let's try and get a nice picture of our new farm building with photo mode. So I think that pretty nicely captures our farm. Add a little bit of colour, say cheese, and there we have it. A brand new farm. So there we go. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. If you have any ideas or suggestions on what you want to see in future episodes, do drop them in the comments, and all the usual YouTube stuff, like and subscribe to keep up to date with what we are releasing. Also keep an eye out for some announcements. If you are subscribed, you'll get them automatically on some other things that we're going to be doing with the channel, just to add maximum chill vibes and coziness to it. But until the next episode, stay cozy. I'll catch you guys next time.